Howdy folks, welcome back to 50 Nautical Mile Arc. We are doing leg 6 of our 50 state series. The series where we are taking off and touching down in each of the 50 states of the United States. This is a leg 6, so we're in California. We did sneak in Pennsylvania early. So we're starting the seas, California, but we're not doing LA, we're not doing San Diego, we're not doing San Francisco. We are going to fly around Mount Shasta today, which is right there in the background to the right. We're taking off at Butte Valley Airport in Dorris, and we're going to fly to Redding. We are going to do the localizer approach at Redding, which I've never done a localizer approach in my life. A localizer is like ILS, except you don't have vertical guidance. You only have left and right guidance, so it's up to you to control your descent. Now, it's similar to GPS, because GPS also will get you in a straight line, and you have to control up and down based on your DME and your waypoints. Localizer is similar, except we're going to tune in a radio. We're going to use GPS to get there, though. So I've never done anything where you go from GPS and you hand off to the localizer. So make sure I get that right. I'm hoping I get that right. Again, I didn't practice this. The point of my channel is not to practice ahead of time. It's to practice with you. So we're going to do the GPS to get there. And then when we're lined up, I guess we'll change to VLOC and tune in the localizer. I guess that's how you, I mean, that must be how you hand it off, right? You just push the button and it hands it off. I don't think it does automatically. Anyway, we'll find out together. And I invite you to look at this beacon that is right on the pavement in front of us here. Otherwise, we're going to get going. Not much to say other than we're going to fly around that mountain, and we're northernmost California, if you're wondering where we are. In fact, I had a hard time finding an airport that was in California north of the mountain. I picked out a few airports, but they were in different states. So we are in Northern California. I wanted to make sure we did something less predictable in terms of where we're going to fly for each state. So that's what we're doing too. So anyway, quick introduction and catch up for those of you who haven't watched the previous legs of the series, but it's time now to get to it. So everything is ready for everybody to board inside. All the lights are on the way I want them, and people can start getting their stuff put away. We have external power turned on, obviously, because we have lights without using the battery. So we're going to hop up front. We're going to get the fuel going here. I forgot to actually look up the distance because I didn't look up the distance, and instead of Googling it, we're just going to go with hour and 45-minute flight time. I sure hope it's not that long. I turned off the weather just because I want it to be clear, and I will like to see the mountains, I guess. I've been having an issue lately with real world weather putting clouds on the ground everywhere we go. So we're just going to do clear skies, no wind. Y'all know I can land this 1900 in the wind, so I'm not cheating or anything. You know I can do it. And then we're looking for 2 o'clock departure, so I better get going here. We got 16 minutes to get started up and headed out. So there we go. Let's get this thing going. We're going to hit the battery up first, which is under the master switch. There we go. Lights, tail flood. Let's turn recog on now. And I got all the lighting in the cabin the way I want it. We're going to hop outside like this. And we're going to remove our static elements. And why is my mouse getting stuck there? I think it's on the other monitor. Remove the static elements. Close the doors, which would be the biggest door in this case, because we are going to do something different today. We're going to hop inside to close the main door. If I can find the click spot from inside, there it is. And then if we hop up front and spin around, we can close the cockpit door. It's behind the seat. So, oh, there it was, behind the seat. There it is. Close that up as well. And we'll swing around and put the emergency lights to normal, which is kind of hard to see from this far away, but there we go. Bring the autopilot down a minute so we can turn on EFIS. And we're going to get these engines started up. So parking brake, make sure that is set. That's between the seats. There we go. Fuel switches. We're going to go on, auto. We're going to view the main tank. Then we're going to view the auxiliary. Use this auxiliary tank first. And this isn't switching tanks. It's just viewing the fuel in each. Everything back, props to feather, and they are engine auto igniter. where is it from this view? I normally use a different view for this. Engine auto ignition, there we go. Get those going. Ignition switch. I'm gonna try to see all this at once. We're not gonna be able to, are we? Now we can. Where is this? It's been such a long time. There we go. When that gets to 15, we will put in full conditioner. Normally you want to do low idle, but for some reason there's update to the sim and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So when it gets to 15, we'll do full, and it should take off on us. There we go. And then once we get going, I'll lower the conditioners when we taxi though. But for right now, we're gonna do full. It'll get to 63 and stabilize, and then we'll turn on the generator moment here. There is 63 right about now. Later. Now, there we go. Turn on the generator, repeat ignition of the left engine. Of course, it'll be much more quick because our conditioner's all the way forward. And there's 63 about now. There we go. Other generator, close the cover. Auto igniters can come off now. Avionics switch can come on. AC bus can come on. Sync the gyros, which you normally don't have to, but you do until this airplane is updated. Turn off external power. Rudder boost is between the seats down here. Climate, so I'm gonna hide this a moment. Blowers and heaters on. Let's do auto temp today. Let's do auto and watch this thing climb 120 degrees in the cabin. Alright, flight plan in the GPS. Now, first of all, let's clear out our previous flight plan from our previous flight, which is going to be like this. So what are we going to do? We are going to put in a few waypoints here. I want to fly in a certain way so we can get as close to the mountain as possible. So we are going to, whoops, wrong control. There we go. We are going to fly to folds, just like that. And then we'll put in the first waypoint to get us to the localizer. Except I don't know how, not sure how far folds is. It's quite a ways, I think. So we'll do whiskey, and then the airport. So there's whiskey or whiskey, and then the airport is Kilo Romeo Delta Delta. There we go. Now let's have a look at this and see. I guess we're not going to be able to tell from here. I just want to make sure we're not doing some weird stuff with that extra waypoint in there. If we have to make adjustments, we will. If we have to skip and go direct to what ready, and we will. But for right now, we're going to go direct to folds. 100 mile trip. So what we're going to do, and we'll do VNAV once in the air on this one. So we're going to fly to folds. Then we're going to fly to whiskey or whiskey. Have to be at a certain altitude. And then using my DME, which in this case will be the distance here, or DME should pop up here in the top left, I believe. At each distance have to be a certain height. So the computer will keep us side to side, but then I have to keep us up and down. So for now, because of GPS, we're going to switch this to GPS. Then when we tune in, well, let's just tune it in now. When we tune, whoops, let's see, you push that. There we go. To tune this, 108.7, there's 8.7. I believe once we're in the vicinity of the localizer, all I do is hit CDI. It'll bring us to 108.7, but we have to start on GPS. I don't think that changes on its own once we pick up the localizer. I believe we have to do this. When you do that, I'm not actually sure, because I've never done this before. I've either done GPS all the way, or I've done VORs slant alpha all the way. So I don't know. I've never done this particular approach. So we are going to learn together, and quit telling me to set my course, or I guess this is nav data in this case. But I do have the localizer tuned in now. The reason I'm tuning it now way early so I don't forget, to be honest. I will forget and be like, why isn't it working? It's only radio we're using, so I'm just going to tune it in now. 108.7, and then the course is 162, which I could actually do now because the GPS will do its own thing. So I could move this over and then switch this to 160. Oh, it's not going to work. I guess I have to drag it. 162. I got it. 162. Man, oh man, that was tricky. Oh, I'm picking up something with glass. Okay. So that took me 10 minutes longer than it should have. But anyway, GPS. Aha. Okay, now it's ready on both. So GPS will do its thing. When I switch this to V-Lock, we'll be at 162. Okay, I got it figured out. I don't need to look it up. I have it all figured out. Okay, so what is next? That was our flight plan portion. That took forever. Good thing I can edit stuff out. Alright, flight plan, Avidyne. I just like to change this up a little bit. Whoops, not that one. This one. Just because I can, and weather will show up if we had it. Radios and instruments, we already did our radios. We did the localizer 108.7 just to get us ready. Altimeter is going to be 29902 because, whoa, there you go, because no weather. Test over speed and stall. And then I'm going to pop that back in. We're going to test our caution warning lights. There we go. Everything's lit up the way it should. What is next? Cabin pressure time. Turn on the bleed air valves. Hop down here. We're going to fly at a regular 17,000 today. So make this 18,000. Right there in the center. Bring this all the way one way and then bring it back a little bit. I don't know. I changed that thing during the flight, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. Let's see here. Auto feather and arm. I need to come back down here, actually. Where are those things? Auto feather. Arm. Generator ties. Closed. Anti-ice. Auto. Stall horn. Pitot heat. Prop sync on. What do we have over here? Ties closed and auto feather because we're sitting still. Alright, autopilot. We're going to go all the way to 17,000. Right off the bat. And we are going to do nav, which is set to GPS, and we're going to climb at an aggressive 2200. Vertical speed, I'll select nav. Boom, that's it. It is ready for us to go. TCAS there. Taxi lights on. Where are they? Right there. Nav can come on now. Props to taxi, conditioners low idle, and we're going to taxi out of here. So, props to taxi, they should change a little bit. There we go. Conditioners to low idle, but not really low idle, it'll cut off. There we go. And we are going to taxi left and right. We're going to take off on runway 16. So let's hop out here. Parking brake off. A little bit of fuel. Let's not hit that beacon. Are we going to get going here? Any day now. There we go. And let's head out to the runway for a back taxi, and then we'll turn around and we'll take off and check out this mountain as well as the surrounding mountainous area. I've never been to California like this. I've been to LA, and my wife was at a conference. I did actually travel with her once. I tell all these traveling stories about my wife. Always married to a traveler, never a traveler, I guess. But this time I was with my wife. We went to California. It was long before children. In fact, we were just married, I think. And she had a conference for a couple days, so we flew to Long Beach, which was crazy because they used max braking on that short runway. And taking off from Long Beach was crazy too because we spooled up on the taxiway, so we were already cruising by the time we turned on to the runway. It was amazing. But anyway, she had a conference there. I drove around in this little rental car. It was a little neon. And I love driving. I've driven every big city, but it was my first time in LA. And all the stereotypes are true. I was in the right lane, keeping in minding my own business in the far right lane, getting run over, watching all the luxury cars fly by me on the left, doing about 95 and 65. I'm pretty sure speeding was 65. It was intense. Drove in the mountains, and that was also intense because all these people in their huge SUVs were flying down the mountain neighborhoods like crazy. I'm like, how come people don't hit each other more? Maybe they do. And it was just a lot of fun, actually. It was kind of strange at stoplights, though, because if the light turned yellow and you'd go through it, oncoming cars who wanted to turn and honk at you. So if you stopped at a red light, cars behind you would honk because they wanted to go through. So you can never win, especially in the little rental Dodge Neon back when those were new. So this is my California story. Oh, also, when I was there, I believe it was the year 2005, we were there for 3 or 4 days. It was 62 and rainy the entire time I was there. So not California weather like you hear about. In fact, the weather was nicer back in Minneapolis, but it was terrible weather. I went to the beach because I had 3 full days all to myself. My wife was at conferences like 10 hours a day. So I went to the beach. I was the only one there except this lady that came out of a condo in like a sporty, competitive type swimsuit. Went for a quick dip in the ocean, went back to her condo on the beach. And there I was in the rain on the beach all by myself. And whenever I tell people that story, they're like, it must have been 2005 because that was the year it rained for 3 days. And I was there. So it's kind of funny, but that is my California story. That's all I have to say about California. Of course, my wife has been all up and down the state many times, but never been anywhere else out there. I have a lot of coworkers who live out there when they're remote for my day job. But anyway, let's try to turn around. There's not a place to turn around here, so we're going to kind of take it onto the grass. Just a little. Just a little. I'm going to turn this thing around. And we'll take off here. Let's get a first set of flaps down while we're stuck in the mud, because that's exactly what's happening. There we go. Don't ignore me. Just look, or ignore me. Don't mind me. Just look at the mountains. Alright, let's get this thing lined back up again. And then we will step on the brake, set the parking brake. Reset. Parking brake. There we go. Brakes don't stop this aircraft. Alright, here we go. What are we going to do? End of runway. Flaps down. Yes, they are. Let's get the lights the way we want them. Cabin comes down. Reading stays on, though. Fasten seatbelt stays on. Overhead comes off. Cabin comes off. And if you want to look at the cabin, it's all nice and dark and ready for people. What else do we want to do? We want to turn off the taxi lights, turn on the landing lights, and turn anti-collision to flight. Trim for takeoff. If we come down here and we do this right, we pretty much don't even have to touch the yoke. It'll lift off on itself. So we have an aggressive climb, so we're going to come back a little bit beyond center like that. Start the stopwatch, which means we need our dealio here. We need to zoom in. And we're going to start the clock. It started. There we go. Conditioners full. Props full. Looking forward. And here we go. Release the parking brake. Throttle's all the way forward. And wow, we're taking off in a hurry. A lot faster than the 727 that I flew recently. Alright, airspeed is well alive. We're in the arc, but we're going to go a little bit more. And here we go. And we have liftoff. Positive rate. Whoa, why are we going left so much? Gear up. Flaps coming in. And we are immediately going to hand off to autopilot, I think. There we go. Banking us to the side. And I believe we should clear this terrain without any problems at all. Let's have a quick look back before we manage these engines. Looking good. Insanely high frame rates. Can't complain about that. Awesome. Very nice. And into the mountains we go. Heading towards Redding, California. Alright, we got to manage some engines. So props and fuel can come back a little bit here. Keep everything in the green. So starting at the top, we have green, 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 green. Fuel flow stays like that, and then everything else is green. There we go. Piece of cake, I think. Yeah, like I said, we're just going to climb aggressively to 17,000 feet. Now this waypoint was supposed to take us to the right of the mountain, but I have a feeling it's going to take us into the mountain. So we might use the heading bug, and we might kind of divert a little bit. So let's hit the heading bug, so it's in the vicinity of what we want, and then we'll be able to get around this mountain if we have to. I don't think we're going to be over the top of it. But anyway, so I wanted to see if we can see this GPS path yet. Let's see. Oh, that looks like... No, it is going to make us do weird stuff. See, fold, and then we're going to backtrack to the first waypoint, which I thought was going to happen. I had a feeling. So we're going to change this up. We're going to come down here. We're going to go direct here, which is going to take us into the mountain, isn't it? That's probably going to take us into the mountain. Or maybe we'll go left of the mountain. Oh no, this is fine. We'll go left of the mountain. Okay, change of plan. Now I won't need to use a heading bug. We're just going to go right by the mountain. So that's going to work for us. Let's get the vertical descent in right away before we sightsee, because I have a feeling this is going to happen in a hurry. So let's see. We want to be at... Well, let's see. Decision, 3,000 feet. So let's go up to 3,000 feet. Like so. At... Which way? Oh, it's not going to tell us. So we want to be... Okay, so we want to be... What is this? 6.5... 3, 4, 5, 6.5 before our airport. And then 800 feet per minute. Yeah, see, we're going to be coming down right away. So 3,000 feet, 6.5 nautical miles. I'm looking at my approach chart, that's how I know that. At the airport. Boom. Just like that. Alright, let's hop outside because I have a feeling we're going to be missing some stuff here. So there we go. Vertical descent is set up. Our localizer is already in the radios because it's our only radio. And then I'll just set our autopilot. Well, I'll set that. We'll talk about that on the top descent. But anyway, we're good for now. Let's do sightseeing, and then we'll talk about the approach again, as well as anything else I might have to say in a moment. I'm going to keep landing lights on the whole time. I'm just going over after checklist here super fast. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Let's do some sightseeing. I'll catch you at top descent. Alright, so we blew way through our descent to target. We're almost double because I wasn't paying any attention because I was doing the sightseeing. So what we need to do is need to bring this down. I think I was going to do 1500. So all the way down we go. There we go. We're going to descend, and we have to descend at an extreme descent rate. Because what does this say? 15. So we're going to do 14. And that's coming down. Good. Alright. We have to really come down quickly. Hope we clear these mountains. Alright, so anyway, nav, blah, blah, blah. Everything's set there. I don't know what to do about this terrain. I mean, we have to come down, let's say 3,000, 6.5 out. So we're going to be 5,800 at whiskey. Let's do flight plan. Yeah, direct. That's where we're going. We want to be at 5,800 there. And it should all work out. But what I'll do is I will adjust our descent. Oh, good. This is coming down. Good. Push my autopilot. Keep doing my autopilot up. There we go. And let's keep our speed up, though. That'll make that change, too. I'll keep an eye on that. I'm not going to bother you with that. But the point being, at our destination or our next waypoint, we want to be at 5,800. So if we are too high, too low, I will adjust things. So even though this is aiming for 3,000 before our airport, we don't want to be lower than 5,800 at our waypoint. So two things to keep in mind there. Otherwise, landing lights already on. Barometer's going to stay the same. Flaps and gear come later. So that's it for descent. Simple as that. I'm going to keep an eye on things, and I'll come back in with you with narration when it's time to make adjustments. And when we hit our waypoint, we should be able to switch over to the localizer. I think I just clicked that button. We're going to find out together. Catch you in a little bit. Alright, we're about to reach our waypoint. So we're coming down very steeply. Just because we have 42 seconds to go and we got to get down to 5,800. We got to clear the train. So we did that, so that means a very steep descent. I'm looking at that bridge just off the nose. That's pretty cool. I'm doing a little bit of sightseeing while we can, because we're going to have to put the cameras away very soon so we can land this plane. Looking back at the mountain. And then ahead at this waterway here. That's under us. That's super cool. Otherwise, alright, we got 14, 13 seconds. What do we have on the VNav? It's down to 1,000. So as soon as we clear this, whoa, why is it doing that? The gyro's messed up. There we go. All right, let's bring this to 1,000 now because, whoa, my mouse is, is my mouse like on something? Because it's doing weird stuff, not what I'm telling it to do. Down, 1,000 feet per minute. Maybe my battery's going dead. It's a wireless mouse. 1,000 on the VSR, going down. Let's move this to 800 then. And where are we going? So, we should be lined up with the runway. So what we're going to do, we're going to slow down a little bit to buy some time. I think if we hit localizer, it should line us up with the localizer, and it is. So that's how you hand it off. Whoa, wait a second. Oh, it's a back course. Isn't it? It's a back course. Hang on. Hang on. It's not a back course. I'm reading. Let me look at my chart. Let me look at my chart. It does say back course. So what does that mean? I have to hit back course somewhere. I have to hit back course here. Approach. Now will it line us up? Because it's a back course. No. Take off approach. Let's do back course. Nope, I obviously have no idea what I'm doing. Engage autopilot. Back course. Back course. Approach. Back course. It's not doing anything. In fact, I have control of the aircraft even though autopilot's engaged. Autopilot. No, that's off. Autopilot on. Back course. Oh, now it's going to do it. Or it's just going to turn us around. So we're at 4th. How far out are we? What's our DME? 12 miles out. We want to be at 4,300. We're way too low because I'm too busy screwing around. Now we're on target. Let's bring this nose up a little bit. Bring it up. Alt select. Bring it up a little. Level it off for right now almost. Because what are we at? 11 miles. At 10.7 we want to be at 43. We're already below that. At 6.5 you want to be at 3,000. I see the runway. We're lined up for the runway. Good. So I hit back course. I got that figured out. Why I had to disable and re-engage autopilot 2 times for it to recognize the back course, I can't tell you. But anyway, we want to be, what? Where do we want to be? We're at 9.6. At 6.5, you want to be at 3 grand. So we'll just keep it descending at 2, just for now. Anyway, there's our runway. Let's slow down, gear down, first set of flaps. A little bit of throttle. It's going to float. I know it's going to float. More throttle. Props forward at this point. Alright, here we go. What are we at? 8.6. So that's 6.5. Can I see that down here too? That's a different thing. Okay, we're gonna use the one on our compass. 7.3. When that's 6.5, I just dropped my chart on the floor. When that's 6.5, we want to be at 3 grand. And it looks like we're going to be pretty much just about. Okay, so then at 2.5, you want to be at 1,500. So let's bring this down again. Down. And I can't really see all this at once. There we go. We all have white on the PAPI though, even though I'm exactly where I want to be according to this. Interesting. Okay, so let's come down even more. We want to be at 1,500 at, what did I say, 2.5? Yes. And let's keep our speed down. We're way too high though. There seems to be some discrepancy sometimes. Because we're 5.2. We're at 28. We want to come down 1,300 feet in 2.5 miles. I guess we can do that. Come down even more. I'd rather come down and then level off. There we go. We're at 26. We want to come down 1,100 feet, and we have about 2 miles to do it. I'm going to slow us down a little bit to buy us time. This isn't going very smoothly, but like I said, I've never done a localizer before, ever. I've never done a GPS to localizer handoff before, ever. And I've never done back course. So That makes a big difference because of the autopilot buttons. I'm glad I knew what that backwards button was, though. Alrighty, we got to come down even more steeply. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Because what are we at? We're at 3, so we have a half mile to get 200 feet. So that's not that bad. We're reaching our altitude now, so we're going to kill autopilot. Now we're going to come in manually, and it's floating around. Okay, there we go. 2 white, 2 red. We ended up right on target somehow. So we're going to come down about, what's deeper than 500 feet per minute, I think. Anyway, whoa, let's get some throttles in there. What are we doing? Alright, so approach speed 110 or so. Cross the threshold. What? I didn't do that. I have no control over my my yoke is doing that funny thing again where it only goes one direction. What? I have no What the heck is going on? I have like no control. I have some control. It says autopilot is engaged, but it isn't. Oh my gosh. I only have some control of my airplane. What is going on? This happened before. Let's get a second set of flaps down. That was really strange. It's like my autopilot button. I don't know. It said autopilot was engaged on the dash, but I had control, and when it said no autopilot on the dash, but then it didn't have control. Anyway, here we go. So what I was trying to say is we want to approach at 100, land at 97, or 104, depending on how heavy you are. We're going to get sucked down in the sim, so we're going to come down shallow, level off, and goose it so we can land smoothly. I have lots of throttle engaged. I don't have time to talk about that bug right now, but I have tons of throttle engaged so we don't get sucked down. So we're just going to flare, touch down smoothly. Nope, we're sucked down anyway. Not enough throttle engaged. Reversers. Flaps coming in. Brakes. Let's see if we can hit this first. If we can hit this first taxiway. Let's get off this run. What the heck happened there? So the autopilot was gone on the dash. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm talking about in a second. Let me just park this thing and turn some lights off. That was really strange. Whoops, wrong button. And parking brake because brakes don't work in this all the way. Let's get our taxi lights on, landing lights off, anti-collision to ground. All these lights can come on now, so people can start gathering their things. So, if you look on the dash, the autopilot light was off, but I had no control of my aircraft. I engaged autopilot and I had control, and I disabled. So something strange was going on, because remember I said the back course didn't work either until I did it, like toggled it like 3 or 4 times. I lost control of my aircraft and started spinning around until I toggled my autopilot 3 or 4 more times. Weird. I have no idea what's going on. Strange. Anyway, let's hop outside where we're going to go. Ooh, big airport. This is Reading. I guess it is a good size. Let's go to the busy area. Yeah, let's go over here. Let's see what's happening. That's where the party seems to be. Let's let go of parking brake and bring props back to feather. Or taxi, I mean, not feather, taxi. And let's get out of here. That was really strange. I know sometimes if you keep autopilot engaged after minimums, it'll do weird stuff like that. But I disengaged autopilot. You heard the horn. But it kind of acted as though autopilot was screwed up because we were below minimums. Anyway, that's very strange. But we managed to recover somehow. Otherwise, we're going to do a very hasty taxi here. Right to that big hangar. Actually, no, we'll do the domed hangar. And we'll call it a day. Very interesting. Lots of new stuff, though. Like I said, localizer was new. GPS to localizer handoff was new. Back course was new. And autopilot not recognizing the back course was new. And autopilot telling us that we're going to go home was also new. Interesting. Alright, let's see here. Let's hop over here. This is awesome, whoever made this airport. Very impressed. Alright, we're going to go right up here. Like I've said before, the brakes don't actually stop us. We can only go that slow. So we'll come down here and we'll set parking brake, come up here, and stop the clock. Very short flight. And, oh, we're not stopped. Parking brake. Parking brake's not working. Parking brake's not working either. So not only did my autopilot button do weird stuff, my parking brake is doing weird stuff. Very strange. What's happening today? I don't know. This is not the Bermuda Triangle flight. Alright, here we go. After landing, yada yada yada. Stop, lights. We already did all the lights. Flaps already in. Conditioners low. Idle to taxi. We didn't do that because I was in a hurry to get to a parking spot. Props to Feather. There we go. Conditioners off. There we go. Okay. Taxi lights can come off now. All these other lights can come off now. We'll leave the tail flood on. We will turn on external power. Open up some windows. And, let's see. Come back down here. Whoops, this one. Turn off the battery because we have external power. That should keep some stuff on. It will. Avionics can come off. What else? That's fine. Let's open up our door. It says kick here. Doesn't do any good. Where's the click spot? I know you're around here. Oh, you're way up there. Okay. Alrighty, let's get out of here. Hop outside and open up that baggage door for some people. That was a quick flight. Only a few people on board, but we made it. Not sure what happened with autopilot. Static elements. There we go. You've all seen me fly this thing at least 100 sometimes. We've never had that happen before. Otherwise, what's that? Laminate research. That's awesome. Anyway, welcome to Ready and hope you enjoy the California flight. If you're enjoying the series, let me know. If you have a request for your state, let me know and I'll prioritize it. If I have to refly a few states to accommodate requests, I would do that as well. Sorry about the messed up approach. I don't know what happened. The landing was okay though. Considering we get sucked down, that's a sim problem. It's kind of a well-known problem at this point. Otherwise, if you are a big subscriber, thank you for your continued support. If you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe. Hang out with us. It's fun. I'm having fun. You're having fun based on your comments. And I'll check you. I'll check your baggage. I'll check your baggage and catch you on the next one.